Okay, so my whole rant here. Do you guys watch college football?
Not really.
Occasionally.
Okay. College football's got a problem, I think, especially with the bowls. Now, this isn't necessarily um, it's not necessarily a problem with all of them. It's a problem with some of them, and maybe the main issue here is that there's too many bowls. But one of the bowls that just made me think of this was held this past December, the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Okay, it was, in my opinion, a little gimmicky, but the trophy was just really gimmicky. You know, like, look up a picture of the Pop-Tarts Bowl trophy. It was really gimmicky. And it made me think of some other bowl trophies I've seen that are literally just flat sheets of acrylic with a big corporate logo in them on a base that's probably not even fake wood. And it gets into this whole thing of something I'm going to say first, too. The NCAA does not officially sanction like the bowls of the national championship. That's still run by BCS Inc., which is I think all ran by the conferences. And it's still called BCS Inc., even though they have the playoff now. So it's not really an NCAA problem. I guess it's a BCS Inc. problem. And whoever else runs these bowls. There needs to be, like, dignity standards with the bowl games and with the trophies. Because, I mean, like I said, some of those trophies are barely even trophies. They're just giant corporate logos in, like, what's it called? Not polycarbonate, but, in acrylic. And then the names of the bowls, like the Pop-Tarts Bowl and that, it's like, all right, at least the national championship trophy, the college football playoff trophy, that is a very dignified looking trophy. Look up the coach's trophy, also known as the AFCA National Championship Trophy. That is a very dignified looking trophy. It's not gimmicky. It doesn't look cheap or anything. It's a trophy that a team would want to display. And it's not, like, cynical. And then, some of the bowl game names, too, when they're just like a corporate name bowl. I mean, it's just my opinion. They should have standards for this stuff. Consider the NFL. Can I legally say, you-know-what bowl? Do I have to call it the big game?
You can say whatever you want, man. Like, you can talk about... That's public now. I don't see why you can't talk about that.
It's because the NFL is technically copyrighted bowl. So, to get around it, we're just going to call it the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Anyway, so teams don't play at the McDonald's Bowl. They play at the Super Bowl. And they don't compete for the Taco Bell trophy presented at the Chevy Drive New Roads trophy presentation ceremony. They compete for the Vince Lombardi trophy, a trophy named after a great coach, and it is a silver football on a pedestal. Like, corporate football is putting collegiate football to shame here with some of these bowl games. And that's why I say there needs to be some sort of trophy standards. Like, no, you are required to use, it's required to be a cup or some sort of shape that is relevant to football. It's required to be made out of brass, copper, silver, gold, bronze, approved materials. If there's any wood involved, it must be a hardwood. if there are any transparent parts of the trophy, it must be real glass or crystal, and the trophy itself cannot just be a big piece of glass. Any corporate logos on the trophy should be limited to like 1 inch by 2 inches or something. So it's not just a giant corporate logo. It's like maybe there needs to be dignity standards. Because, like, what are you going to do 50 years from now? It's like, do you remember that time we won the Airbnb Bowl presented by Taco Bell? I'm just saying, make trophies and that, make bowl game names that you would be proud to have in a trophy case. You'd be proud to see some student walk in there 50 years later and see, like, their team was a champion. And it's like, sometimes you go into, like, old high schools, old colleges, you see these old trophies. They look very dignified. Like, not a corporate logo in sight. They're made of real metal. They're a cup or a shape relevant to the sport. There we go again. So that's my rant is I think they need to have dignity standards with bowl game names and trophies. And if you can afford to sponsor a college football bowl, then I'm sure you can afford to provide an actually good trophy. So that's my rant. That's my 2 cents.
I like that. How do you think? Who do you think the main enforcer would be?
Well, I don't know. I would say it would probably be BCS Inc. because, like I said, the NCAA doesn't technically endorse any of these. Although I think most of the New Year's Six bowls do have like half decent trophies. I haven't looked at all of them. I know the actual college football playoff trophy, again, very like nice, very dignified trophy. The coach's trophy, which is given to the number 1 ranked team at the end of the year, that is declared the champion. But that I don't know, because there might be some bowl games that operate outside of the that operate outside of BCS Inc. And I don't know how those operate. So that is a very good question. Might be a flaw in my logic.
I don't think it's a flaw. I think it's more so, how do we think this should be implemented practically? Because I think it does, it does kind of cheapen sports, like, the more things are sponsored. There's examples, one key example being, NASCAR, like, the people wearing the ridiculous outfits and then the car being, plastered in sponsorship, right? Like, the more you know that, things are being sponsored, kind of the lower quality it is, right?
I think realistically, you need sponsors to have bowl games and that. But I just think sometimes it's to a point where it's cynical, where you're presenting the players at the end with what's essentially just an advertisement, like the equivalent of some corporate award rather than an actual trophy. The game is more of an advertisement than a athletic competition.
Exactly. It's like just being given another pizza party, right?
That's almost exactly what it feels like. Yeah. That all we got? Last detail I'll add. Corporate football is putting collegiate football to shame. Shouldn't it be the other way around?